the Big Ten's going to beat each other up. The Pac-12 is going to beat each other up. You can't have three Pac-12 teams at the end of the year still vying for a playoff spot. You can't have three Big Ten teams in there as well. So you can probably subtract four of those, and it's probably down to like six or seven. You can put Georgia in there. They're not going to play anybody until the SEC championship, and even then, maybe Michigan and Ohio State's winner will probably be in there, unless Penn State can remain unbeaten against those two. Florida State can kind of coast on that ACC schedule right now and make its way in, probably as the 4th seed, which it probably will be if it wins out. And then there's Oklahoma. Oklahoma got itself back into the race with this win against Texas, where it was so frustrating because you think, oh, Texas is going to pull it out. They get this huge field goal at the end of the victory with like a minute left. And Oklahoma just marches its way down the field like it was nothing. Dillon Gabriel didn't, I mean, he's a fine quarterback, but he didn't impress me on that drive. Texas was playing so far back that I'm like, what are you doing? And then you have the pass interference call at the end. They let them win that game. That's what was frustrating about it. And now Oklahoma's gonna match itself up in the Big 12. They can win that matchup again, which I know we're gonna hook the horns down. Yeah. Um, I was gonna say Oklahoma, the standings in the Big 12, as I look these up here, which I should have done before. I mean it's one division. So it's right now it's Oklahoma and West Virginia in the Big 12 championship, which I can't believe I'm saying that right now, but it's true. Yeah, that's where we are right now. Unless does Texas play West Virginia later on in the year? They do not. So it's really all up to West Virginia as to whether or not Texas is able to get itself in. Yeah, that was frustrating to see on Saturday because I thought Texas had it and I thought Texas was going to remain in that mix and maybe they could work its way back in if they beat Oklahoma in the Big 12 title game and work their way back in. That's going to make the committee think, okay, they've recouped from the one blemish they've had on the record this season. But now it's not looking great for Texas.
So it seems like it's safe to say that Texas is in fact not back.
It's jury's still out for this year, but it's very difficult to.
I'm going to go ahead and just overrule the jury here. So Texas is not back. Horns down. I'm never a believer in Texas until they're back, which in fact will be never. Clip this, post this everywhere. I'm not worried about this one bit because they're going to SEC next.
Yeah.
And Steve Sarkisian is not going to be okay in the SEC. I'll just tell you that right now. He can't even be okay in the Big 12. So, yeah, this didn't surprise me. You were texting me during this game. I was telling you what I had bet wise, and then you replied with a nice tweet of a number you think I should call. But that's neither here nor there. At not one point did I feel confident Saturday morning thinking Texas was going to win that football game. It was the prime letdown spot. Mitch, it almost sounded like there were more Oklahoma fans there, and it was a neutral site game in the state of Texas, just at the Cotton Bowl. And so it's like, if you're Texas, now it's not a short or not a long drive or long trip or anything, but still.
Sure.
There's no way possible that game should be harder for you to play than when you did and you went to Alabama and beat Alabama. Yet they made it seem like it was harder. And I give Oklahoma a ton of credit. And it was the first time I've gotten to hear it in 2 years. I don't think we knew each other before this, but I was always fascinated at any time the Clemson Tigers played a game on ESPN, how many times they mentioned the word or words Brent Venables defense for Clemson as why they were so good. I actually had a tracker when Ohio State beat Clemson in the Sugar Bowl in 2020 to 21.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I actually had a tracker live on Twitter that night for how many times he said it. And then I haven't heard it for 2 years, but then Saturday, I heard Kirk Herbstreit utter the words, "This is that Brent Venables defense." And that's when I knew the Sooners are back. This is a huge win. And the guts that quarterback had on Saturday.
The guts to throw to wide open receivers.
No, just in general. I mean, you're talking about a young kid, the plays he made with his legs and whatnot. I mean, Fair. You're talking, you're pressed for time, right? You know you're losing. Your goal's getting field goal range. I also did not even know he was throwing that ball to the end zone to a wide open guy because he kind of blended in with the turf at first. I thought it was just going to the other guy way up front or he was throwing it away. But I just thought it was a gutsy performance from Oklahoma. And yeah, I'm not a believer in Texas. I will never be a believer in Texas.
Clearly I can see that. But yeah, that's where college football stands right now. We'll cover it more throughout this coming week. Again, hoping it's not a trap in Purdue. We had the 2018 matchup. Even the games we won there before, I've always been nervous about them going into those games. So
Last time we went to Purdue was the last game that we got blown out with Dwayne Haskins as quarterback, Urban Meyer as head coach.
yeah. So that we're hoping it's not more of the same.